Alright, so here it is. You are thinking about making that move to Las Vegas here in Southern Nevada, but you don't know where to start, right? It could be coming all the way from the East Coast, West Coast, wherever you're coming from. But here in Las Vegas and Southern Nevada, we've got a ton to offer, from world-class entertainment to restaurants to just all the amenities that we have in the mountains, the lake. So where do you even start? Well, today in this video, we're going through all of it. I'm going to lay out a lot of the areas that people are starting to settle into and where that all kind of maps out. So wherever you're coming from, it just gives you a geographical idea of maybe a place that you might want to start looking at. And if so, you know, we can always talk more about that. You can always reach out to me, but hopefully this video helps. And let's go ahead and jump in and take a tour of Southern Nevada and how it could benefit you when you decide to move here. Alright guys, as promised, we are diving into the map today. And the first thing I want to show you is just an overall view of where we're at here in Southern Nevada. So you can see bulk of this is right here. But what I really want to show you with the first picture is that where we're located as people are starting to come into town or relocate here. So first thing you got is anything that's kind of getting up into the 95, moving up this way, we're headed out towards Northern Nevada. As we head out on the 15 heading up this way, this is where we start to head into the Utah area. And then really heading down out of town, you're going to go through Boulder City, down in here to AZ. I know this is great penmanship here, but just to give you an idea, you got your AZ up there. We're just going to put UT for Utah over there. And then for all my Californians that are moving in, we're just going to keep following the 15 right out of town here. And then this is going to take you all the way down to, you know, kind of in that Southern California. So this really just kind of gives you an idea of as you're coming in, where we're starting to see the traffic, and if you're looking to get out of town. And so what's cool about this is that depending on where you're relocating from, maybe it is California where you're here and you can jump on the 15, head south, and I mean you can be in parts of California 3.5, 4.5, maybe 5 hours depending on where you're going. And then you can also jump out to Arizona. You got a great shot to Utah. So we get a lot of people, depending on the weather, trying to get out of town for a little bit and maybe check out one of these places. Alright, well, let's get ready. Let's clear all this stuff up and let's get back to where we're going with the map. So once we kind of know where everybody's coming from, let's just start, let's just hit it, let's just tackle the elephant in the room. Let's just go right to what everybody thinks, and that's the strip. So obviously you're going to see right here the strip nonsense, the word is right there. You're going to see all the hoopla here, right? Like, so we are packed on the strip, and what you're going to see really is that it starts right about here in the right about Mandalay Bay. This is going to be the south end of the strip. And as you head down here, the strip is going to carry all the way down to about right here where you see the stratosphere. And then ultimately, as we zoom in here to downtown, you're going to see at the back end of the strip, back up just a little bit so you can see you're going to have your circus right in here where you can see this. You got Palace Station, and then this is kind of right here, the stratosphere. This is kind of the old end of the strip that everybody knows, right? You got the stratosphere, kind of ends it on the north side. So you have this gap here, which is just the freeway. But this is where you get into what we call downtown area. You're going to see some of your older casinos, your Golden Nugget, your Binions, but you got Fremont Street down here. So just to kind of give you a little bit of lay of the land as far as when you're doing the 15, the 15 is what takes us from the south end all the way to the north end of town. We'll actually highlight that for you. So as you're starting to come in, you got the 15 that basically runs right through the strip, right through downtown, right through the Arts District, North Las Vegas, and if you stay on it here, you're running all the way into Utah, okay? Which is really kind of cool. So we have a lot of it built right in. I kind of call it like the strip is kind of like the hub, right? Your center of Las Vegas. And what's really cool is that as you start to talk about places that people are migrating to or starting to settle in, so just zoom out here just a little bit and we'll take a look. So from the strip, we kind of use that as the starting point, is that you're going to find Henderson Green Valley right over here this way. You've got kind of what we call Southwest area. This is where you're going to find your Rhodes Ranch, your New Durango Station out here, things like that. You're over here into the Summerlin area. You start to even head up here into Skye Canyon, which we'll start to talk a little bit more about these areas in a little bit more depth, but I just kind of want to give you the overview of where we are. You'll come up here into a little bit further up into the Tool Springs Aliante, and then you've got your Nellis Air Force Base, kind of your North Las Vegas here, and then kind of rounding it out, you've got Lake Las Vegas here. So you can kind of see how everything is centered off the strip, and probably to get to any of these areas, you could be talking 20 minutes to 30 minutes, but the great part about it is that I've literally driven from, the Summerlin part of town right over here, and, you can come down here through our, what we call the 215 here. You can get out to Boulder City right here, and that's about a 40-minute drive. So you can cover quite a bit of ground here with the way that our freeways are set up. And yes, we are full of construction, but we're ever expanding, and it's just going to make it easier when it comes to traffic. So, well, let's head into and start to talk about some of the areas that people have been migrating to a lot lately. All right. The first area that I really want to kind of talk to and about is, let's just stay focused kind of on Las Vegas. And what you got here is you've got Summerlin. So Summerlin over here is where you're going to find things. This is where like a lot of master plan communities. You're going to find Red Rock. You're going to find downtown Summerlin. What we have out here is really over the last probably 5-6 years, we've really started to expand out in this area. So it's becoming a real popular area to live in. As we go up a little bit further, we get into this Skye Canyon area. And what's cool about the Skye Canyon area is it was a master plan community really developed for kind of outdoors living. So if you like a lot of hiking trails, the mountain views, being a little bit closer up to Mount Charleston, this is definitely a place that you're going to want to to go take a look at. And the beauty is that all these pockets that I'm starting to show you, we've got new build options, we've got resale options. We really have a little bit of everything. All right, let's zoom in a little bit and kind of break this down. As we get a little bit more into this Summerlin area, we also have a couple of popular areas right in here. Is you've got the Lakes community right here, which has always been popular. It's a little bit older, more established community as far as the homes and landscaping, things like that, but it's a super popular area because you kind of get that lake feel, but kind of right in the heart of the west part of Las Vegas here. All right. Another area that we've seen a lot of growth in is your Southern Highlands area, and that's really going to be right up in here. Again, this is kind of one of the more of the areas that's on the way out of town, that Southern 15 freeway kind of area, but we've got golf. They got a nice golf course up there. They're really starting to fill in a lot of this area over here, so it's really becoming a great place that people are really starting to look at. All right, as we move more into the Henderson area, you're going to see real popular places like Anthem right here. You've got your Green Valley area right here, and then you've got, not only do you have Henderson that's right here, but you're getting Old Town, kind of what we call downtown Henderson here. And then these areas are a little bit more mature in the Henderson area right over here, but they're starting to infill some of this area between, you can see Lake Las Vegas being out here. And so all this area kind of right in through here is really being filled in now. We have a big community, master plan community called Cadence that's going out there. One of the largest Smith shopping centers is going to be found out there. So they're really trying to build that infrastructure and kind of fill that area in with some new options out there. All right, let's head into kind of this southwest corner is what we like to call it. And there's an area over here that it was popular a long time ago, and it's starting to have a resurgence, in my opinion, and that's the Rhodes Ranch area. Golf course community, we've got them down here, but they've also started now, they built in Durango Station right here. So you're getting a lot of this area filled in right through here, now being backfilled as they're working a little bit further south into the mountain's edge area. So we're starting to really fill in a lot of this land that wasn't developed years ago. But that kind of gives us an idea of where we're at as far as some of the major places that people are moving to when they consider Southern Nevada as a place to relocate. And now that we zoom out a little bit, I do kind of want to show you, you do have your Lake Las Vegas right here, which is kind of your lake style living. And what's interesting is that you notice the Lake Las Vegas isn't actually connected here. Like there's not a real good access from Lake Las Vegas over to Lake Mead, what you see here. But you also have Boulder City right here. So Boulder City is more of a captive community. You're talking about probably 15, 16, 17,000 rooftops in this area. And what's interesting about Boulder City is they actually have a city ordinance where there's no gambling. So you're not going to see casinos out here. You'll see them over here on the edge, on the outskirts, before and after you come in and leave Boulder City. But you actually won't see any inside Boulder City. All right, now that we've talked about a handful of areas that are more popular, or maybe that tend to be growing a little bit more in the Las Vegas Valley and even the Henderson area, is that I wanted to kind of leave you a little bit of idea where a lot of the new builders are going. You can see by the blue arrows all over is that we are getting growth on all of the outskirts of Las Vegas and Henderson here. But let's jump in first and take a little bit of a little closer look at Summerlin here. This is going to be the Summerlin West area, but up here you've got builders like American Homes, you've got Lennar, you've got people like KB Home up here. You've got another great community by Taylor Morrison. So Woodside Home is even up here. Tri Point's up here. You've got a lot of these builders that are coming into this area, and they're giving us a wide variety of floor plans. I've seen, especially up in this area, I've seen everything from single stories to 3 stories, really just depending on what kind of floor plan you're offering, but we're getting a wide variety here. Some of the other areas I want to show you is that, we had previously mentioned the Skye Canyon, Sunstone area, and that's what you're going to find up here. So on the left side over here, this is kind of that Skye Canyon area. You're going to see, again, Tri Point Homes, KB Homes. You've got, let's see, who else is up here? We've got D.R. Horton. You've got Lennar, things like that. So you got a lot of options up here is my point. And these floor plans that are, and the way that this master plan community that's built in this area compared to where we were just looking at Summerlin, 2 completely different areas, right? You're talking the Skye Canyon area is a lot more probably focused and dedicated towards outdoors living, outdoor lifestyle with hiking, trails, biking, that kind of stuff. But another really cool area is right over here. This is the Sunstone area, and then this is Trilogy. I mentioned a little earlier is that this is a 55 and older community, active adult community, and I've been up there. I've shown properties up there, and it's absolutely stunning. And so for any of these places that you're more interested in, and if a new home build works for you, check out some of the other videos, because there's definitely, we've taken a deeper dive into some of these subdivisions and communities and other videos. Today I wanted to give you a layout of kind of what to expect when relocating here or retiring here, and just kind of show you a little bit more around of the Las Vegas Valley. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more to look at. But again, you look at all these blue dots, you get into the Aliante area. You've got D.R. Horton up here who's taking on a massive project, and we're even getting new homes even in the kind of that northeast area. Again, KB Home that you've got in here. We even go out to Lake Las Vegas, and you can see how many people are building in Lake Las Vegas. And even out here, we're getting a lot of the communities. Tri Point is one of them that's doing a lot of lakeside peninsula building. So you're really getting that almost kind of like that coastal feel right here in Las Vegas. So again, don't be afraid to reach out. I love talking to potential clients and my clients. So if you're curious about any of these areas, reach out, give me a call. I'd love to chat with you more about it, but let's go take a look at some more of what the Las Vegas Valley has to offer. So let's point out some of the bigger spots. Obviously, we can come right back down in here into the Strip, and you see all the Strip hotels that we have here. And then while we're down here, we also see some of our sports teams that are starting to make Vegas home, right? You've got Raider Stadium, which is Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. You've got the home of the Golden Knights right over here as well. We'll zoom in a little bit more, and you'll see is that we've got T-Mobile Arena right here. So you've got your Golden Knights, you've got the Raiders. You also have some arenas where they'll do a lot of events, college basketball, some things like that, where these arenas will start to fill up. You also have your Aces, your Las Vegas Aces playing over here. So this is where you're starting to see a bulk of that. And then the talk of the new A's Stadium, we're going to find that that's going to kind of really come in right into this area right here is the plan to where that's going to end up going. So as we back out of that, probably the other sports town team that we're getting a lot of notoriety and is doing really well, we kind of slide back over here to the downtown Summerlin area. And as we zoom in here and get a little bit closer, we've got the Las Vegas ballpark, which is just world-class setup. It's our AAA team for the A's currently, but it's a great night to, you know, if you're going with friends or by yourself even, or taking the kids, the family out there, it's actually a really great place to visit. So when you start thinking about where, you know, you might want to call home as you relocate, some of these areas might prove to be a little bit more conducive to whatever your lifestyle is and what you're looking to do. Some of the other casinos that you're going to see with you know, just the whole nine, entertainment, gambling and stuff, is that you got your, kind of as we round about and kind of work our way around the map here, you got Aliante Station here, you've got Red Rock down here, we've got our new Durango Station down here, we actually have Suncoast in here, you obviously have everything on the strip here, but you also get Green Valley Ranch here. You get Sunset Station over here. You have Boulder Station over here. So you can see is that you don't necessarily have to live right in the midst of the strip or you know, you know, 5 minutes from it to get to some of this. A lot of the locals actually prefer some of these ones that are maybe a little bit off the strip, you know, maybe more of that local feeling, or maybe not quite as busy, maybe not as touristy. Either way, the beauty of being here in Southern Nevada is that you have the option of all of it, which I really love. All right, so as we take a look at this, really that kind of lays out a lot of that stuff. I would say as far as school district goes, you know, you're always going to want to check in with the Clark County School District, because we do have charter schools, private schools, the public schools, all throughout town. But I always get a lot of questions about golf courses, right? We do have a lot of golf courses here, and I'll go through some of my favorites as it comes to, we'll start with the public ones. One of the big ones out here, highly rated, is the Paiute Golf Course. It's actually out towards the Indian Reservation. It's just a really good track. They actually have 3 golf courses out there. But as we start to work our way in, we see things like Angel Park right here, right? Another popular public course. We start to work our way down the 215 here. We also get to Arroyo Golf Club, which you see right here. With the cool thing about Arroyo, it's actually tied to the Red Rock Private Country Club. So as a public member, you can go play the Arroyo side. As a private member, you can actually play the Red Rock side. And as we start to move down here into the Summerlin area, interesting is that we actually have Bears Best. That was always a public course. It's actually been bought out and will now be a private course. And you also have the Summit, which is probably one of the most exclusive new golf courses in town, and that's going to be on your private side. But you also have Canyon Gate, which is very popular. You also have Spanish Trails, which is right over here. So when it comes to Las Vegas and golf, if that is something that you're looking for, we've got a lot on the west side over here, but we also have a lot of courses right over here. As you can see, we got the strip right here, but a couple of courses that I always like to mention is that right here you've got your Las Vegas Country Club, and then over here you got Las Vegas National. So 2 great courses on this side of town as well, a little bit closer to the strip. So if you are down in this area, you have an opportunity to play over here. So, and I'll probably go to one of the more I don't want to call it notable courses. We also have Shadow Creek, which is probably famous for when they have their big showdowns. All right, guys, one of the other things that I have to point out, because it's something that's near and dear to my heart, with 3 kids of my own, Nevada has got a bunch of great little leagues. And last year in 2024, we actually sent a team to the way to Williamsport for the baseball side. But just to give you an idea, for those that maybe have little ones or you're looking at little leagues, you know, it's a little bit different thing to look at. But we have some great ones over here. We have Summerlin North Little League. We have Summerlin South Little League here. Down into this area as we get lower, we have Mountain Ridge. We have Henderson over here. We also we'll have Western Little League up here. Okay, we have Lone Mountain Little League up here. So we're not short on Little Leagues out here, and I think it's a great way to, especially relocating, if you are a family, that has kids, getting involved with your local youth sports programs. Again, doesn't have to be just Little League, but soccer, basketball, gymnastics, dance, whatever it is. We see a lot of that here all over town. It just happens to be Little League for me, but it's a great way to get outside and meet your community and pick up some friends and family, to kind of make yourself feel more welcome at home. And one of the other things I love is just the overall community that we have here. You're going to see a lot of outdoor events because we're blessed with such great weather. You're going to see farmer markets. You're going to see outdoor concerts. I mean, you get into the Strip and there's never a shortage of rodeos or concert performers or big events going on. We've now got the F1 race that utilizes the Strip. We've obviously got the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in North Las Vegas. So we have so much to offer here, which makes it a really ideal place for people to relocate. And let's obviously mention probably one of the biggest benefits is that there's no state income tax in Nevada. So that becomes really intriguing to people either retiring here and looking for, that maybe an active adult living, maybe a 55 and older community, which we have some great ones. I'll actually show you that we've got some, one of my favorites is up here in this area right here. This is called Sunstone. Trilogy has done an amazing job putting together some complexes up here for active adult living areas, so we have that. So it really does make Southern Nevada a really intriguing place to relocate to or even retire to. And as we start to come north here, is that we'll also see is that right over here you'll be able to see this area is Mount Charleston. So on one side of the map, on the northwest part of it, we've got things like Mount Charleston where you can take the kids sledding, skiing. You have the mountain there, and then you can kind of zoom out here and, well, I guess we don't have to go too far, but you've got the lake right here. You can come down over to Lake Mead where you have boating, you have, houseboats, you have things like that. So what's beautiful about Southern Nevada and the Las Vegas Valley is that there's no shortage of things to do. We have so much at our fingertips, and that's why I love calling it home, and hopefully you will too. All right, guys, well, thanks for hanging in there with me. If you made it this long, hopefully you found some good nuggets and maybe some information that, you found useful in, entertaining the idea of relocating here to Southern Nevada or even retiring out here. If you ever have any questions or want to chat, whether you're buying today, tomorrow, a month, a week, a year from now, feel free to reach out. Give me a call. I love chatting about our city. But other than that, I appreciate you hanging with me. And maybe in future videos, we'll take a little deeper dive on the map, break down some subdivisions in a little bit more detail with this map style. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more insight on what Southern Nevada's got to offer for you.